Hello and welcome everybody to Ask Doc Live. I hope you are having a super fabulous day today. Whatever day it is, I know it's not the same day around the world. So we're excited that we are able to reach around the world with this program. If you are on live with us, make sure you have that chat option open so that you can see all of the valuable information that our hosts are going to be putting in that chat. Now, if you see the names Ruth Ellen Sanchez, Dr. Judy Reynolds, Nasima Omar, or John T. McCollier, those are our co-hosts for you today. And of course, myself, Rebecca Dukes Kozak, also known by Becca Dukes. We are here bringing this resource to you to just add empowerment to life, because we have more control over our own health journeys than society and media wants us to know. And that's what this program is all about, is bringing that information that is empowering, that makes you the authority of your own health. Now, Ask Doc Live is sponsored by AskDocLive.com. But if you were invited to this program, whether you're live or watching the replay, make sure that you get back with the person that invited you to watch this program. They have a vested interest in making sure that you get information that is either going to help you stay healthy or make that U-turn that's needed in order to regain health. Because our bodies were divinely created. When you give it the raw ingredients that it needs to build healthier cells, it's going to build healthier cells throughout the body, giving you a better outcome as the cells regenerate. It's pretty simple. I think us as humans make it more complicated than it needs to be. Now, also, if you're on live with us, there is no self-solicitation. So if you are in the chat or you have your name and you have something within your name that kind of promotes you or your website, please rename yourself. We don't want to have to rename you or remove you from the program. We want to keep this positive. We want to not have anybody, basically, we want to make this a safe place. How's that? Also, the content of this program is to provide educational information only on the importance of nutrition and supplementation. As Dr. Wallach puts it, essential factors. The food supplies around the world are empty and void of what the body needs to actually thrive. It can survive barely, but we are here to help you thrive. And in this program, we will be sharing nutritional options that allow you to be able to fill those gaps, have a solid foundation of what the body needs in order to do so. Now, the statements of this program have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The products discussed are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases. And the information contained in this Zoom is for informational purposes only. If you are pregnant, nursing, or taking medication, please consult your healthcare professional before starting on any supplementation. We're using food as medicine. So if your doctor tells you to stop eating food, then I guess that's between you and them. So I'm excited because the gentleman that we host on this show has prevailed in the courts many times at suing the FDA with victories that allow us to be able to make the information that we are sharing with you today available. Freedom of speech is not always freedom of speech, but because of his fight, we are able to share this information. we bring you the good news. The genetic theory has been proven to be incorrect. And also the gentleman that we provide to you every week is instrumental as being one of the co-founders of epigenetics, the science that has proven this theory of genetics to be incorrect. And to guide us on this journey, it is my pleasure and honor to present to you Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Wallach, welcome to Ask Doc Live.
Well, thank you so much for the kind introduction, and thank you for the team, everybody out there on the regular team that's here every week. I can't thank everybody enough for making this happen. Certainly, I can't do it all by myself, so I appreciate every second that the team is with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just in today's news, it's kind of a crazy thing, but it's one of those things where I didn't realize it, but seniors who were really in trouble after having strokes and this, that, and the other, they were being fed baby formulas, okay, because they couldn't eat food and so forth. And so they were just being given baby formulas, just like babies are given baby formulas, which are complete meals. And of course, I had, as you pointed out, through these lawsuits and petitions, we had a great effort in putting all these nutrients into baby formulas, and we eliminated all birth defects. We eliminated cystic fibrosis. We eliminated muscular dystrophy. Gave all that information to Jerry Lewis. He took it to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They fired Jerry Lewis, even though he'd been with them for 50 years and had raised $2.7 billion. They fired Jerry Lewis because they didn't want to admit they were wrong for 50 years, saying that muscular dystrophy was genetic. No, it's just a simple nutritional deficiency disease. And then as a side benefit, we learned that by going through the courts and petitioning and suing, we forced them to put these nutrients into the prepared baby formulas. And in addition to getting rid of cystic fibrosis and cleft palate and that kind of stuff, and getting rid of muscular dystrophy, we also got rid of son of death syndrome. Now, son of death syndrome was supposed to be caused by the mothers laying on the babies in bed and suffocating them. I mean, for, I don't know, 25, 30 years, that's what doctors were saying. And so many women got excommunicated from their churches. They got excommunicated from their families, their neighborhoods, because they had killed their babies. Well, that wasn't true. The babies were dying of simple nutritional deficiency. And Dr. Milan and I went to China, went to Heilongjiang province, which is in the northeast part of China. And we went to there, and because they have a deficiency of that nutrient, and at Keyshan University, we did 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10. 100 of them were under, 1 year of age, and they would have been diagnosed as son of death syndrome in the United States. Well, back then, the rate of son of death syndrome deaths was 135 to 140 per 100,000 normal births. Okay, that was 1990. And then today, the rate of son of death syndrome deaths is, SIDS is, I think it's 15 to 20. So we dropped it by more than 95% by putting those nutrients into the baby formulas. Well, now, because of this baby formula backup, okay, there's only one company in the United States making it, and they can't make it fast enough, the baby formulas, but not only for the babies, but also for the seniors that were using it. So we have come out with, of course, the kids toddy, and the rate and dosage, everything's on the back label. And then, of course, we have the liquid minerals. And I'll tell you a great story. Praise the Lord and pass the 90. If you're ever in the military, you know what that means. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. When you're in a battle, not only did you want God on your side, but you also wanted to have plenty of ammunition. Okay, well, Miss Linda Tyler from Baltimore, Maryland, one of her people, a pastor, Mike Freeman, was in Johns Hopkins, and he was in a coma for 6 months. He only had a couple of days to live, and Johns Hopkins told his family, better come and say your goodbyes so he can hear you, because he's going to be gone in a day or two. And so Miss Linda called me and said, is there anything we can do for him? I said, well, do you have a G-tube so we can give him stuff? She said, no, there's no G-tube. He just has an IV for hydration. It's okay. just take our plant minerals, our liquid plant minerals, and rub a cupful of the plant minerals on his chest, on his belly, on his back, between his shoulder blades, his lower back, say 2 or 3 times a day. And they did. Well, the third day, he gets up out of this coma, shaves, goes back to the TV and the radio studio at his church and begins telling the world his story. So I fly out there and we do an interview, and the CD and the DVD set was called Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. Praise the Lord and Pass the 90, just like Praise the Lord and Pass the Ammunition. And that set sells steadily every month. And so I want everybody to know that that set is there. So if you have somebody in the hospital and they're in real trouble, you want to get that minerals, the minerals, and get them on them. But get a hold of that CD and DVD set, Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. But get the minerals and put them on, whether it's male or female, and it works. It works, and this is not difficult. And then also for these people who are suffering from a stroke or something like that, or for whatever reason they have no teeth or they just can't eat, get them on, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. It's liquid. Get them on the Kids Toddy. It's a liquid. Get them on the Cherry Mins. It's liquid. Don't forget the EFAs and prevent blood clots and strokes. This is not difficult, okay? And of course, there's always the bad stuff you got to stay away from. The bad stuff, of course, is the fried foods, and that includes air frying, deep frying, pan frying. No processed meats, no bologna, salami, pastrami, pepperoni, no jerky, absolutely none of the bacon and ham, all that stuff's got to go. No gluten, no wheat, no brown rye and oats. There's no safe gluten. Oatmeal is not useful. Okay. The only people who are not sensitive to gluten are dead people. If you're alive, you're sensitive to it. Can't have it. And then no sugar and no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go, because the carbonation in diet drinks also neutralize your stomach acid, so you cannot digest food and absorb minerals. This is something that you have to do every day. You cannot have one cheat day a week or anything like that, because it will cost you your life. You cannot do that. Okay. And then as a result of us doing this poorly, we rank 54th in the world when it comes to longevity. Our average life expectancy is 75. We rank 54th in the world of the advanced nations, okay? And it's one of those things where there's 53 other countries in the industrialized world whose peoples live longer than us. We're supposed to have the best healthcare system in the world. No, we have the most expensive, but not the best. Okay, very, very important to differentiate there. And then, of course, for energy, we've got the Rebound, we've got the sticks and the canister with the, let's see, the sticks, there's 30 in a box. The canister, there's 36 servings in there. Both of them are powder and they do not have any carbonation in them. The Rebound cans we have, there's 12 of those cans in a case, but you do have to pop them open for 2 or 3 hours before you're going to drink it, because the carbonation in there will not let you absorb the maximum amount of nutrition. Okay, in the Rebound, there's 100 nutrients in there. Most other sports drinks or energy drinks only have sugar and caffeine. Ours has 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. So this is all stuff that are basic stuff. Now, I do want to remind everybody that, we have terrible diseases, okay? To me, some of the most terrible ones, okay, I'm just going to be brief on this because I do want to get to something deeper here. Arthritis is degeneration of the joints, and osteoporosis is degeneration of the bones, including the skull, but the doctors never talk about osteoporosis of the skull. The annual cost of treating the symptoms of arthritis, not preventing it or curing it, but just treating the symptoms of arthritis, okay, is, let's see here, $626.8 billion with a B dollars per year. That's just treating the symptoms. Osteoporosis, let's just look at the combined community of the United States, Canada, and the EU, European Union. Each year, again, not to prevent or cure osteoporosis, but to just treat the symptoms. And that does not include treating the symptoms of osteoporosis in the skull because doctors don't even know anything about that. It's 6.5 trillion to treat osteoporosis, excluding the skull, okay, in the US, Canada, and the EU. Women have 4 times the amount of osteoporosis as men because they restrict their diet because they want to stay skinny and beautiful. Men eat everything, okay, and as a result, they have 1/4 the amount of osteoporosis. Women, because they are getting some minerals, okay. We have kids under the age of 16 have juvenile arthritis. Very 300,000 in the United States under the age of 16 with juvenile arthritis. So this is very, what should I say, crazy stuff. Crazy. And I could go into all the costs of all these other diseases. We'll do that another day, because I do want to get to the real information of the day here. I want you to know that we do finally have our CD that goes along with the book, It's All in Your Head, which goes into 25 different diseases associated with osteoporosis of the skull. These are peripheral neuropathies. The skull is squeezing the 12 pairs of cranial nerves, squeezing the spinal cord, causing all kinds of diseases downstream. Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay. And then now we have the CD, okay, to go along with it. The CD, let's see here, how to prevent and fix osteoporosis of the skull and MS, multiple sclerosis. There's a lot of the symptoms of multiple sclerosis that are very similar to many of the symptoms of osteoporosis of the skull. And I see people that have both MS and osteoporosis of the skull. And so this has been part of our journey, okay? Well, now we have the CD, and the CD is just really making an impact already. It's just been out for a couple of days, but it's just flying out the door, okay? And it's a companion with the book. When the book numbers get down in the warehouse, we'll reprint the book, but everything that's in the CD will be reprinted as another chapter in the book. It's on your head, because it's 1 year of actually treating osteoporosis of the skull and MS, and we got all the results, and it's in this CD here by the same title, It's All in Your Head, okay? And of course, you get volume discounts when you buy more than 10 CDs, you get volume discounts when you buy more than 10 books, and so forth. So they make great gifts. They will add 25 to 50 healthy years to people's lives to make the quality of their lives better. And I get very excited about this. And there's more and more stuff just pouring in. Information is pouring in because people are saying, well, yeah, I did what you said, and I had all these other things I wasn't even thinking about, and they all went away too, and so forth. And so all this is going in the CD and soon to be also added to the book. Very exciting stuff. We can add 25 to 50 healthful years to your life, and these are friendly years. Excuse me. You do not want to be sick and miserable for an extra 25 years, okay? And don't forget, even if you're a senior and you are also getting baby formula because it was a liquid and tasted good and had nutrients in it, and so that's why we suggest also that seniors get a hold of our kids' toddy and the Cherry Mins and the EFAs to go along with what nutrients they can take. We also have the glucogel liquid as well as the glucogel capsules. I only weigh 142, and I take 5 glucogel capsules twice a day, in addition to my 2 Healthy Brain and Heart packs. Okay, I do the rebound. I pop them open, and then 2 or 3 or 4 hours later, I'll be drinking it because it's off gas, the CO2, and it went flat, which is what I want it. I want it flat. I don't want a lot of carbonation in there. And this is something, again, you do all these things, you save money, but also you add healthful years to your life, which not only saves money, but adds healthful years to your life. So I'm very excited about this. The CD is being received extremely well. It's all in your head, how to prevent and fix osteoporosis of the skull and MS, as done by myself and Rebecca Dukes-Kozak, the hostess of your show here. Okay. And so Ask Doc Live. And we've been doing this, going on 3 years. And so this is getting out to a lot of people, and we're looking forward to get out to more and more people all the time. So with that, said, let's go back to Rebecca. And how can we help people today, Rebecca?
Well, Dr. Wallach, it feels like a lifetime has gone by quickly. It's only been 2 years, two
Yeah.
years that we've been doing this program this month here, July 2022.
Okay, so
But
we're going into our
who's
third year.
counting? Who we're going, yes, that's right. We're going into our third year. You are absolutely correct. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on Ask Doc Live. It's fabulous to see so many new names and faces on with us as others are sharing this information and helping others to be empowered of their health journey. Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and jump into questions as we have some hands up. Let's go to Heather in Wyoming. Heather, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, Dr. Wallach.
How can we help you?
Yes, my question today is regarding my husband. He is 53. He's 220 pounds. He's 5'11". He's been on the longevity products for about 7 years.
Mhm.
And he does take a variety of things. Recently, he was diagnosed with a skin issue on his scalp. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention the skin issue.
Sure,
Okay.
Go ahead.
So it's basal cell carcinoma, and they think from too much sun exposure. And I wanted to ask what you would recommend for him.
Okay, well, basal cell is a skin cancer, okay? Right, this is a carcinoma, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a skin cancer. Did they do any surgery on it, or are they just treating him with chemotherapy? What are they treating?
He's not doing the chemotherapy cream, and he would prefer to not do surgery. They are about the size of a nickel. There's 3 spots. They have scraped them, but it's more of a biopsy than a removal.
Okay. All right. Well, it's one of those things where we got to get his immune system up. So he's probably doing many of these things, but just also for our viewers and listeners, at 211 pounds, or 220, I guess it is, 220, I want him to get rid of all the bad foods so he can maximize absorption. No fried foods, no air frying, no deep frying, no pan frying, no processed meats, no oils of any kind, no wheat, rye, and oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks of any kind. And then I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose, everything twice a day. I wanted him to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone breaks, including the bone marrow, which is his immune system. Okay. And then I also want him to have the collagen peptides, take a scoop of that in his morning drink and a scoop of that in his evening drink. That's also going to help rebuild his bone marrow, which is his immune system, again, for white blood cells and red blood cells, all that kind of stuff. And then I also want him to have our hair, skin, and nails. Hair, skin, and nails. Okay. It has the collagen peptides in there, the hair, skin, and nails. I want him to have 3 of those 3 times a day, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. That'll be 3 bottles a month of the hair, skin, and nails. And that's going to give his skin what it needs to protect itself as much as possible here. Okay. And see here, I think that's where I want to go, because he does have all the nutrients that's going to support his immune system, including, I'm not even going to go into them. You can read the labels. I don't want people running to the grocery store and buying one nutrient or something like that. But doing this combination, he's going to be giving his immune system support. And his immune system is going to be his best friend here. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach.
Thank you. Keep us informed. Okay.
Will do.
All right. Thank you, Heather. So Dr. Wallach, let's go to Pat. Pat, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Yes, sir. How can we help you?
I called in a couple times already, and I just thought I'd check in again. And I'm 68 years old, weigh 143 pounds, and I'm 5'6" in that area. And I've had a prostate issue that I've been working on. I have some nodules on my prostate, and I had 2 MRIs done, and they wouldn't do a PET scan for me, so I had to pay for that myself. And I haven't done any biopsies just because I don't want to poke it
Mhm.
and do stuff like
So,
that.
so what's their opinion? What's going on here?
The nodules are still there. My PSA actually went down the last time. I'm taking a product called prostate PGM, and plus I'm taking a lot of stuff. I've been taking your stuff since 2008. And I'm just kind of wondering if I should take Prost FX again, or if I should wait till the nodules are gone, or if I can. What I'm doing is I follow the Truth About Cancer, and I follow you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to do all this
Okay.
stuff kind of naturally.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's stop there for a minute.
Okay.
Again, just for our viewers and listeners, when you have any kind of pre-cancer or something that might be cancer, you don't have a definitive answer yet. You want to treat it as if it were cancer, right? You want to kind of go for the worst. Okay, you'll be better off that way instead of dabbing at it, as not something serious. So none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And that's just got to go that direction. I mean, really, really be obsessive about getting rid of all the bad stuff. Then in 142, 143 pounds, I want you to take 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs. I only weigh 142, and I do that. I take 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs. And so I know you can do it because I do it. I have to pay for everything. I don't get this stuff for free. And so I want you to do that, to be, full dose for everything twice a day. I want you to get the MSM, get 2 bottles a month of the MSM, take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, bone matrix, including the bone marrow, which is your immune system. Okay. And then I also want you to get our collagen peptides. I'll do the same thing. Take a scoop of that with your morning drink, and a scoop of that with your evening drink. It's really going to help your bone marrow a lot in cartilage and ligaments and tendons and joints. And then also, I do want you also to get the, as you're taking the Prost FX, okay, go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. And let's start there, okay? And, all the stuff that's in the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs, there's 215 nutrients in there, and they're going to support the immune system. So let's go there and keep us informed. It wouldn't hurt to do a hair analysis. I'd get the book if you don't have it. Rare Earthman Cures, go to chapter 10. It'll tell you if you have any bad minerals like lead and mercury and uranium in you. It'll tell you if you're absorbing, because I see you have a little bit of gray hair there. Gray hair has nothing to do with age.
Right.
Okay, it's due to nutritional deficiencies, and the same nutritional deficiencies can put a damper on your immune system. And so let's get that hair analysis.
We did that. I've done your hair analysis twice.
Okay.
And my wife and I both are very high in uranium.
Okay, well then you need to be taking our herbal rainforest. Okay. Okay, good. Take a ½ ounce twice a day. It's 1 quart a month of the herbal rainforest, and that'll help drop that uranium. Or do you live downstream from a electric generating plant that's run by using
I live right in the middle of Nebraska, so I live in farm country, and there's no electrical plants close around here, but I don't know, living in farm country, it's hard to say with water and stuff. So
sure. And so you're getting uranium from somewhere,
right?
Okay, and it could be coming in some of the food you're eating or buying at the store and stuff like that. That's a possibility.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to do a hair analysis. If you got uranium, I do a hair analysis like once every 6 months, and it's got to be going the right direction. It's got to be going down, 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 down. Even if it's not rapidly, but it's got to be going down as opposed to staying the same.
Right.
And okay, you want it to be going down. So you want to really, really be heavy-handed with that herbal rainforest. Okay,
Okay. Yeah, we did the hair analysis, and then we waited 6 months and did it again. And it seemed like the uranium stayed the same, but
Hmm.
um, we're working on it.
Okay. Okay, good. Don't forget to stay away from the gluten so you can absorb all the good stuff. Okay.
We've been doing that since 2008, since we started with you.
Okay, good.
So
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Very good. And so, I want to see that hair color coming back, not because you're dyeing your hair, but I want to see,
Right.
you're absorbing nutrients.
it's blonde. I have blonde hair. I'm 68, so and there's a little gray in there. It isn't bad. But
Yeah. Well, if you have one gray hair in your nose or one gray
Right.
hair in your ear, you have gray hair. Okay.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Very good. So let's hear from you on a regular basis. Okay, Pat?
All right. Thank you very much, Doc.
Yeah.
God bless.
Thanks for sharing. God bless you, sir. Okay. Back to you, Rebecca.
All right, thank you so much, Pat. Now, Dr. Wallach, we have so many questions that come in regards to prostate. What is the underlying cause? I mean, so many men are now having prostate issues. It's like over half of the emails that I get are
Well,
related.
you have the secret. You have the secret because you don't have a prostate issue.
Well, that's why we're fortunate as women. Okay, we go through things that that men don't, but we don't have to go through them with, severe negative
Mhm.
effects. So my question is, Doc, for men specifically and parents who have children that are boys, where do we start with nutrition to help prevent what may come with prostate issues later?
Okay. Okay. Well, you have to start out with getting off all the bad foods. Okay. From at least a year before the pregnancy occurs. Okay. Don't start getting off the bad foods 2 years after you've breastfed the baby. Okay. You want to be getting rid of the bad foods. If you're sexually active and you're hoping to get pregnant, get rid of the bad foods, which includes gluten. Eat like an Asian. Eat rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash and that kind of stuff. But stay away from wheat, bran, and oats. When doctors came out in 1900, because people were getting obese, okay, because we went to electricity and didn't have the minerals anymore from wood ashes and coal ashes in our food and gardens, people were, America's getting obese, and doctors said, well, just eat more whole grains. That was the worst possible thing they could have said, because everybody started eating more wheat, bran, oats, and the rate of all these diseases started skyrocketing. Oh, it's genetic. Oh, it's autoimmune. No. It's because everybody was driven to eat more whole grains. And because doctor had the false idea that when you ate animal fat, you got fat. No, you get fat because you're nutritionally deficient and you develop a behavior called pica, which is you want to eat and eat and eat because your body's looking for those nutrients. Okay.
Well, one thing that I have found, which totally confirms what you just said, Dr. Wallach, when I was eating a healthy diet using whole grains, I was never satisfied. I wanted to eat. Just like you said.
Yep.
And even now, if I slack off on my supplements, I slack off on putting that premium fuel into my body, and I start eating those foods that I know I should not be eating, I start craving them again.
It's called pica,
It's not
P-I-C-A.
instant. That's right. It's not instant that I start, but if I were to go, say, a week without my supplementation, my brain's ability to make the right decision on what I put in my mouth, it lessens. So it just goes to prove that, folks, what we put in our mouth makes a difference. There is a connection between our gut and our brain that is very strong. So we want to make sure that we keep our guts healthy, keep putting that nutrition into our guts that's going to be supportive and building, full of life, not dead, empty calories.
Okay. Well,
So that
listen, right
our
now,
brain works.
you are a beautiful example of a gorgeous young woman. Okay. And
You're so sweet.
well, I'm serious, every woman in the world would like to be like Becca Dukes Kozak. Okay. And you've lost 100 pounds or 100 plus pounds. Okay.
100 pounds. Yeah.
Okay. And looking at you, nobody in their wildest dreams would have believed that. okay? Because now you are, right there where you want to be. And, I'm sure you're still getting whistles on the street from guys and they're doing double takes. Oh my gosh, look at that gal. She must be a movie star. And so,
Dr. Wallach, you're so sweet.
okay. And so I'm just pointing this out that, you got the way you are because you paid attention to the details. Okay. You were in trouble. You were in trouble with your health. Okay. And it manifested itself in being overweight and having skin problems and all kinds of issues and so forth. And you had a lot of gray hair and so forth. Now, are you putting dye in your hair anymore?
No, I never have done dye in my hair. And I was looking at pictures the other day. This used to be like pure silver. And now it's so much less. I was doing some picture comparisons. I thought it was fabulous that it was less. And the biggest part, Dr. Wallach, my hair has life now, and before it was just almost lifeless and thin.
And dry, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'll have to do some side-by-side photos and share.
Yeah, if you would, give us side-by-side photos, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember seeing you when and now, and so there's a big difference. And so people need to see both, the pictures from some time ago and more recently. That'll show them what's going on. Okay, so we've dealt with the prostate issue. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, it's not a girly thing. Okay, and so let's see here. What else we got?
Well, we have Heather with another question. She popped right up when you said, "What else do we got?" So Heather, go ahead and wait a minute. I lost the unmute. There we go. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Becca. So this next question is for my sister-in-law. She is 45. She's 5'8". She weighs 137 pounds. She's a vegetarian and she's had 5 kids. Her concern, she has actually been on the longevity products for the last 3 years. Here within the last maybe 6 months, she's had some substantial hair loss, and that, us women, our hair is very important. And so that is her health concern. Okay.
All right. Well, she's losing hair because her skin is not healthy. Okay. Again, I can't stress enough. You got to get rid of the bad stuff. No fried foods, no air frying, no deep frying, no pan frying, no processed meats, no oils of any kind. Absolutely no wheat, bran, rye, and oats. There are no such things as good oats. The gluten in oats is called gliadin, but it's still gluten. No sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go because the carbonation of the diet drinks neutralize stomach acids, so you cannot efficiently absorb minerals and digest food. All righty. Now, to deal with this, okay. And her main issue, again, is hair loss, correct? So
yes,
correct.
Okay, so at 100, okay, so 137 pounds or thereabouts. Okay, I want her to get rid of all the bad foods. Then I want her to get 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. Get another bottle of orange selenium with the 5 cofactors in there, not from Walgreens, but orange selenium with 5 cofactors. So you can take 3 of those twice a day. I want her to get 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. I want her to get the collagen peptides. So you take a scoop of that with her morning drink, a scoop of their evening drink. That's going to support her immune system, as well as all collagen, including things like cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, skin, including on the skull. Okay. And then she needs hair, skin, and nails. She can get 2 bottles of that a month. She can take 3 of those twice a day. And let's see here. We already talked about the collagen peptides. I'd also have her take the glucogel, which is another form of collagen. And I'd go ahead and let her have her body weight. She could take 3 of those twice a day, be 2 bottles a month. And so let's start there and then stay in touch with us, every couple of weeks, because she should see a return of her scalp health and her hair coming back in, also coming back in at the proper hair color. Okay.
All right, she did a thumbs up, Dr. Wallach. So just so everybody knows, I've been following Heather myself for the last, 3 years? And she is another one where we need to have side by side before and after photos of, because she has done fabulous and has really thrived taking the 90 for Life products, Dr. Wallach. So many people, so many examples of what we can do when we are empowered and take our health and our nutrition into our own hands, where we don't have to have a life controlled by pharmaceuticals. We absolutely don't. And if we do, there's ways that we can reduce that codependency on the pharmaceuticals. And Dr. Wallach, it's because of your research and the work that you have put into making sure that formulas are created that provide the body what it needs, that's based on actual research, science. It's not just somebody throwing a whole bunch of stuff together because they heard this works and this works and this works. This is taking the body as a whole into account and what it needs to have healthy cells. So Dr. Wallach, you are the man behind all of this. It started back in the 1960s, right?
Oh, no.
50? Well, okay, we're going to go back to the
It started in
early
1949.
Okay, 1949.
When I realized, okay, they were going to put me in an institution because I was crazy, violent, and 20 doctors couldn't figure out. 20 doctors over a period of 1 year examined me and did blood tests and all this kind of stuff, and tried different drugs and things, and nothing could help me. And so they're going to put me in an institution and do studies on me. And I asked my mom, well, how long am I going to be in there? And she said, well, maybe for the rest of your life if they can't fix you, because they're afraid you're going to kill somebody or kill yourself. And so I was sitting on my bed on the Friday night when my mom's packing up all my clothes, and they're going to take me on Monday to this institution. And it dawned on me that there were certain things that our farm animals were getting that we weren't getting. So the next morning, Saturday morning, I marched out to the barn and I got the little alfalfa pellets we're giving calves with vitamins and minerals in them. And I came back and I threw my Cheerios and Wheaties to the chickens, and, the breakfast of champions, all that gluten and grains and everything. And I took the alfalfa pellets, all the vitamins and minerals, and put in my cereal bowl, put milk in it for breakfast on Saturday, breakfast on Sunday, breakfast on Monday. And by Monday afternoon, I had cured myself in 2.5 days, where 20 doctors couldn't fix me in 5 years. And so that let me know when I was 9 years old that there's something wrong with the medical system, because if a 9-year-old kid can figure this out and 20 doctors couldn't figure it out, they're on the wrong path.
That's right.
Okay, that's how it all started, 1949.
Well, you as a free thinker, Dr. Wallach, have made such an impact on the world and on the people who have heard the message. But not everybody has heard this message. And that's our job, and our goal is to be able to make sure more and more people are hearing this message. So thank you for all you do. And after spending some larger chunks of time with you over the past month as we're working on these special projects, you are not a violent, aggressive person. I'm
No.
just letting people know.
But here's a message to the bad boys. So, just because I'm not a violent person doesn't mean I can't take care of you if you're bad.
Well, and he's not meek, and he is not gonna hold his tongue when it comes to the truth, folks. That's Dr. Wallach. He's gonna speak up for all of us and what is actually harming us or benefiting us, and making sure that this information is heard. Well, Dr. Wallach, let's go to the next hand that is
Okay.
up. And Miriam, Welcome to Ask Doc Live. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, my question, Dr. Wallach, is I am 64 years old. I weigh 100 pounds. I'm 5'2", and I just recently had COVID for the second time. I got over it 2 weeks ago. I had it again. I had it before 2 years ago. I've been on longevity products for 8 years. I'm on the good foods, bad foods list. And I just wanted to ask you what I could do about a lingering cough that I have after getting over COVID. I have postnasal drip and I can't get rid of this cough.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, first of all, the thing they have to appreciate is that two things are necessary to survive viruses like smallpox and COVID and the flu and that kind of stuff, polio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Your immune system has to make lots of good, healthy white blood cells, neutrophils, lymphocytes, and all that kind of stuff. Your bone marrow's got to be working. That's your immune system. And then you have to be making antibodies from the stem cells also in the bone marrow. And then, if something, I spent many years in the Army at Fort Leonard Wood, in artillery, 105 and 155 howitzers, and then 20 years in the Air Force. And so I was getting 12 vaccinations every year for more than 20 years. Okay, so I'm not afraid of vaccinations. But vaccinations do not kill viruses, bacteria, fungus, or yeast. Vaccinations only alert your body to the bad guys. They alert your body to the bad DNA. So when the bad guy shows up, your body says, there's the bad DNA. Let's go get the bad DNA. And so this is why people are dying that get vaccinated. And they say, well, say the vaccine didn't work. Well, no, the vaccine did what it was supposed to do, but they're eating gluten. They're not taking the 90 essential nutrients. And so they didn't have the defenses, the white blood cells and all the defenses and antibodies necessary to kill the viruses. Okay, you need two pieces. Okay, now you can get antibodies when you get exposed to the virus if you survive it. Okay, and so when you see all these people that were vaccinated and die from the COVID, okay, now we've got the monkeypox coming along. Monkeypox makes you miserable, but tends not to kill people. It just makes you miserable. Okay, a lot of skin problems. But the people who died did not die because of the vaccination. They died because they only got the vaccination, but didn't get all the 90 essential nutrients to support the immune system to then respond to the vaccination. Okay, so they died of these nutritional deficiencies. I'm sure that they had the vaccination, but if they didn't have the ability to make antibodies and white blood cells, then the vaccination didn't do its job, okay, because the person was not taking the 90 essential nutrients to do the follow-up stuff. Got it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I hope that helps you there, okay? And so I would ramp up on the nutrients. Don't forget our liquid minerals, okay? I take a lot of that. We also have the sticks. We have these little sticks with we've dried the minerals out, and there's one serving, and those little sticks are 30 sticks in a box of the plant minerals. You can take, a handful with you, and take 2 or 3 of those a day. One with breakfast, one with lunch, one with dinner. That's in addition to your 90, or better yet, your 215. The Healthy Brain and Heart Pack has 215 nutrients in it, including the 90. And then you have to add all this other stuff for your immune system, including the bone marrow, the collagen, your skin, and so forth. And people will do well, okay? And so it's not too late. You can go ahead and ramp up on your nutrition, take more of our vitamin C. I take 2 of those big vitamin C lozenges a day, one at breakfast, one at dinner time. Then I also, take 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs. I only weigh 142, and I take 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month, full dose training twice a day, collagen peptides to support the bone marrow. I take a scoop of that in my morning drink, scoop of that in my evening drink. MSM, I take 3 of those 3 times a day to support the immune system and the bone marrow. And so that's why, again, I'm 83 years old. I'm sure I've been exposed to the COVID-19, maybe even the monkeypox, but I just haven't even had a fever. in the last 3 years. I just don't have the problems because my immune system is, at full fighting strength. Okay. So I hope that answers the question.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And God bless. Thank you for bringing that up.
All right. Thank you, Miriam. Great question. Now, Dr. Wallach, let's go to one of our emails. But before I do, if you are on here live with us, thank you for joining us today. Most of the time when people come on live, it's because they have questions specifically for themselves or for a loved one, and we would love to get those questions answered for you. Don't be afraid. Raise that hand. Let's get your question answered. We would love to have you on video with us, but if that's not something you're comfortable with, that's okay. You can keep your video off. And if you were invited by somebody specific and you do hear something that really sparks your interest in you wanting to get more information about what's available, what would be right for you, get back with the person that invited you to this program, as they do have a vested interest in making sure that you get what you need to create a healthier future for yourself and your family, your friends, your loved ones, or just the community as a whole. So, Dr. Wallach.
Yes, ma'am.
This question is coming from Maria. And Maria says that she's been dealing with some current health issues, and she was looking through sections of your book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, and it recommends the pig arthritis formula. Now, I know that it's in the book, so I wanted to make this clear. The pig arthritis formula is now known as the pig pack. And I actually started with
the healthy, and the healthy bone and joint pack.
So yes, so the pig pack and the pig pack plus, that's everything but your essential fatty acids in a liquid form. The bone and joint pack has our powders. So our tangy tangerine, our OsteoFX, both in a powder, or they're available in liquid forms also. So I love the fact that we have something that is going to meet everybody's preference. So whether they're wanting convenience, with just being able to take an ounce a day, twice a day, or mix it up in a powder, drink it throughout the day, it all works. And I love the fact that, Dr. Wallach, you have been instrumental in making that available to us.
Yeah, well, the reason why I called it the pig arthritis formula, the pig pack and all that kind of stuff, because remember in the beginning, I was a veterinarian, and before I was a physician, all these people are coming to me. I'm only 9 years old. They're all coming to me wanting to know what to do for this disease, that disease. Because in the church, it was very obvious that I was a different person. And they wanted to know what the heck was going on here. What did I do? And so I couldn't get grandma on, just something because, well, he's not even a veterinarian. He's just a farm kid. What does he know? And so I named my products after animals so that people weren't thinking that I'm trying to take over a doctor's business. Okay. So that's why I called it the pig pack, pig arthritis formula, and so forth.
But then you went back to school, Dr. Wallach, and you
Yes.
became a human doctor also.
Yes. I went back to school because I got fired from Yerkes Primate Center. I found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis, supposed to be a genetic disease in kids, a birth defect, and proved to them that it was, in fact, just a simple nutritional deficiency and early pregnancy, and it could be prevented and even cured later on. After the baby was born, they could still be cured. And they fired me from Yerkes Primate Center. I said, well, like everybody knows, this is a genetic birth defect, you're fired. And so that's when I said, well, then I'm not gonna let this stand. So I was looking for a job. My wife had just died and I had 3 little kids and so forth. So I got a job teaching nutrition at the Naturopathic College up in Oregon. Yeah, Portland, Oregon. And of course, the Yerkes Primate Center was in Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. So I had to go all the way across the United States, take my kids myself, go teach. And I said, well, I'm here. Might as well see if they'll give me credit for some of my like physiology courses, pathology courses, anatomy courses, and things like that, pharmacology courses, and my veterinary degree towards the degree in naturopathic medicine. And they did. And so I graduated in 1982, I believe it was, as a naturopathic doctor. And so now suddenly now I could legally treat people, and I didn't have to pretend, you know, I'm a veterinarian who's gone a little crazy and trying to treat people like a dog, but they'll get better. So that's how that all happened.
That's awesome. So now being fired from the Yerkes Primate Center for finding the cure,
The cause, prevention,
The
and
cause,
cure of
prevention,
cystic
and cure.
fibrosis. Mhm.
was that the start of what got you into the epigenetics?
Yes, yes, and of course, I was, you know, at that point in 1960. Let's see here, 1965. I had just come back from Africa. I was working after graduating veterinary school in 1964. Marlon Perkins sent me to South Africa to work on the White Rhino Conservation Project. That was my first book I ever wrote, was Rhino Express. There was only 300 left in Umfolozi Game Reserve, okay, in Natal Province in South Africa. So we built a big wildlife parks for them and so forth. And I spent 2 years there, and I caught 200 of them and sent them to the United States and Europe. So as they'd at least be breeding in zoos, we'd have some left to deal with, because they're being killed for their harm. Okay, that's, you know, the medicine of the tribesmen in Africa, the rhino horn for ED, erectile dysfunction kind of stuff. And so we're trying to save the white rhino. And but before I went to Africa, I was taking courses in pathology because I had some spare time. And it's one of those things where during Christmas in 1963, all the professors are gone. I'm there by myself in the pathology lab and doing all these autopsies. And I ran into the first mass die-off in America to be recognized as a pollution problem. I recognized it as a pollution problem, did all the chemistry and got it all done. So the professor got back from the holidays, Christmas holidays. I said, can I be a co-author? You know, I know I'm only a student, so can I be a co-author on this? And they looked at it and said, well, you figured it all out. This is your baby. Go ahead and publish it. So it got published in 1965 when I was on my way over to work on the White Rhino project. Okay. And so it's like crazy. And so because that study came out, Marlon Perkins, my old Mutual Omaha Wild Kingdom show, I had worked with him for many years at the TV show and also at the St. Louis Zoo. He calls me back and he says, okay, Wallach, we used your paper on the mass die-off from pollution. 500 died in one night. The night before, the farmer is feeding all the animals and everybody's happy. And the next morning, 500 are dead. What happened there? And so I did all the chemistry and everything was very obvious. It was a biochemical problem, chemistry problem, a pollution problem. Got it all written up. And so the professors came back and I said, well, can I be a co-author on this thing? He said, well, this is your baby. We weren't even here. So they let me publish it. Okay. And so that's how all this happened. And so when I'm in Africa doing this white rhino thing, they called me back because I got this grant, $25 million from NIH to study pollution in the cities. And what we were looking for was an animal in the big zoos in the big cities that would act like the canary in the mine for coal miners. So if the gases would come out, instead of killing the coal miners in the early stages, the canaries were more susceptible. They'd drop off the perch and die, and the miners knew to get out. So let's use that principle, and we'll find some species of animals that are sensitive to the same pollutants that humans are. And so that they called on me. And I didn't even have a book written yet. I had only had that one paper written on the pollution, that mass die-off from 500 died in one night. And so this is all happening all very quickly. But to make a long story short, it was very obvious that there was a problem. And so we were able to identify it, get it all written up. W.B. Saunders, the biggest medical textbook publishing house, W.B. Saunders bought the rights to my thesis to make a book out of it. It was, in the beginning, it was 5,000 pages. So they edited it down to 1,200 pages. It sold for $25,000 each. They published 90,000 of them and they sold in 90 days at $25,000 each. Because they showed there were no genetically transmitted diseases, okay? And so nobody is going to spend $25,000 to get a book that's going to teach them how to make good food.
But
So
they will spend money to get to this one.
Okay, and that's a summary, okay, my thesis, which is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. And so the summary is epigenetics, the death of genetic theory of disease transmission. And so many people say, well, like that can't be right. So they would go to the Smithsonian Institute in DC and say, we want to see Dr. Wallach's thesis, okay? And they'd get 2 armed guards to go with them because they were stealing the books. And so they would send armed guards with them so they wouldn't steal the books at $25,000 each. And so the book, Epigenetics, which is 300 pages, is only $25. Okay, if you buy 10 of them, we'll give you a big discount if you buy 10 at one time. Okay, but the subtitle tells it all: the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. There you go. And that's me. That's me. That picture on the cover is me at the. I thought that was good. That's me at the Yerkes Primate Center with some of the monkeys that had cystic fibrosis, and so I just put that on there to let them know that I survived and they didn't.
That's funny. You're so sweet, Dr. Wallach. Well, we are at the top of the hour, folks. I just want to thank you for joining us on Ask Doc Live. We're going to take a short break. So get up and stretch. Make sure that you stay hydrated. Add minerals. Oh, before we go, Dr. Wallach, you were mentioning trying to find the canary in the mine.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through looking at common household cleaners. And you know what the warning says? Remove any birds or animals from the room prior to using this solution. So folks, that's a clue that it's harmful to you too, not just to birds. But go ahead, Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
I just wanted, we need to read labels, whether it's on our food, on our cleaning supplies. Everything that we bring into our environment is going to affect the way that our genes are expressed, the way our digestive system and our brains function. So I encourage you to go read the labels of the things that you use within your household. And if you have some of those cleaners that have that warning on it, Longevity has an amazing line of natural cleaners under our product line that they were smart enough to bring into the umbrella called Nature Direct. We will be right back after this short break. Hello and welcome back. I hope that all of you were able to get up and stretch, do some moving around. And now let's learn how to raise our hand. We haven't had very many hands up. So we have so many new faces and new names on with us. I want to make sure that you know how to raise your hand on a Zoom. So if you go to the Zoom menu, and it doesn't matter if you're on a Microsoft-based or Apple or Android or iPhone, iPad, whatever, you have a Zoom menu. And in that Zoom menu, you can see reactions. If you click on reactions, there you will see the ability to raise your hand. All it says is raise hand or raise virtual hand. Click on that and you will be able to raise your hand, and we will get to your questions also here on Ask Doc Live. Now, just as a reminder, if somebody invited you to this program, get back with them and say, hey, I want to order some of these products. I want to know what specifically is going to be the best fit for me in what I have as my health goals. So get back with them because they probably have their own special way of ordering. And I'm so glad that I did the raise hand because I now have 3 new hands. So I guess sometimes we need a little bit of encouragement on raising hands. Also, if you were referred to this program by the newsletter, if you're one of our amazing newsletter subscribers with Critical Health News, you can reply back to that email and get information. Also, we'll get you connected with one of our amazing certified holistic health coaches that can help you in finding out what you need and also help you with getting what you need on its way to you. We also have a store on AskDocLive.com. This is for those who have never spoken to anybody and were not referred to this program by anybody specific. You can go to AskDocLive.com. There's the whole store there. We also have a menu option for Dr. Wallach's books, and we have a contact us. If you're unsure of what you need, use that contact us. It'll send us an email and we'll have one of our certified holistic health coaches get back with you. So Dr. Wallach, are you ready to start taking some more questions?
After one little announcement, okay?
Go ahead.
Okay, now, remember I said there were 300 white rhino left when I went to Africa in 1965 and came back in 1967 to do that $25 million grant, which got my thesis in the Smithsonian Institute, okay? Well, today, I guess it was just last year, they did a count at these of the white rhino in these wild animal parks we established. Remember, back then there was only 300. Today there's 21,000. So we are so proud that we saved a species, and just very, 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 what should I say, very emotional that you can save a species, go from 300 to 21,000 by establishing wild animal parks farm. We built it with our bare hands, and so very proud of that.
That's awesome, Dr. Wallach, and you were very instrumental in that project.
Yes, I was there for 2 years. We put 2 years into setting it up.
That's fantastic. Awesome. And you have that documented. You even
yes.
have the book Rhino Express, which
all the details, okay?
right there.
And you have to appreciate that we were using drugs that were 10,000 times more potent than morphine, and the darts that we used to tranquilize the rhino were the size of AAA batteries, where before that, they were using darts that were the size of a flashlight, okay, because the drugs were so weak. They had to use, 4 or 5 ounces of the drugs instead of just a couple of cc's. So that's a big difference. And of course, the book, which I say, I don't know how to do this, but there's pictures in there of all the various ways that we did to catch the rhino, all the things we did to get them into the zoos in the United States and Europe. Okay. We had whole teams working day and night for 2 years to save as many as we could. Okay. We caught 200 of them safely and without a loss of any. Very proud.
That's fantastic, Dr. Wallach. Thank you for adding that. Now let's go to the first hand that is up here on my list. And Anne, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you'd like to come on camera, you're more than welcome to. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Anne, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, how can we help you?
My God, I'm actually talking to you.
Oh, yeah, I'm actually talking to you.
I've wanted to know how I get rid of cataracts without having surgery.
Okay. Well, cataracts is an oxidation, almost like a rusting type thing going on with the lens of the eye. And so you need to change everything that got you into that trouble. So you're not fighting the same process, okay? How old are you and what do you weigh?
I'm 72 and I weigh about 130,
Okay. How tall are you?
about 5'2.5".
Okay. Do you have any other issues? How about pressure, diabetes, arthritis?
I don't know. I'm going to find out on August 24th.
Okay. Do you have any back problems?
Nope.
Any ringing in your ears?
Sometimes, but not often.
Okay. Comes and goes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you ever wake up at night to urinate once, 3, 5 times, anything like that?
Sometimes,
Okay. What's the most you ever had a wake up? 3 times, 5 times,
maybe twice.
maybe twice. Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, you have osteoporosis of the skull, and your skull is squeezing the optic nerve, the optic artery, and optic vein, causing a lack of nutrition and lack of oxygen and all that kind of stuff to the internal part of the eye, which includes the retina, the lining of the globe of the eye, the and the lens, which oxidizes and sort of like a rusting type process, and so you lose clarity of vision and so forth. That's the process that causes the cataracts. Okay, so no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. You need to live like an Asian, eat rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash. And then at 130 pounds, even though you only weigh 130 pounds, I want you to go with 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose of everything twice a day. You need a big hammer here to take care of these cataracts and rebuild the eye, rebuild the skull. I also want you to take a full dose of everything twice a day. There's a lot of stuff in there, so don't just say, well, I'll just take one of everything. It'll last me 6 months. Don't do that. You take the full dose as written on the labels, okay? And then you want to also get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time, and they will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. If you don't have it, you need to get a hold of the book. It's all in your head, because when you have cataracts, it's all caused by osteoporosis of the skull, directly and indirectly. Okay. And of course, now we have the CD, which gives you the results of more than a year of actually following the recommendations in the book. It's all in your head. And this CD, How to Prevent and Fix Osteoporosis of the Skull and MS, is kind of like a scorecard of what went on after we put the information out. And so we're very, very excited about this, because people, it's flying off the shelf. People want that CD because they want to hear the results of, what was proposed in the book. So I'd go that direction. Get a hold of the book and the CD. It's all in your head. And it's, one of those things, you buy volume, you get discounts and so forth. But then again, I want you to, in addition to the MSM, I also want you to get our collagen peptides for your immune system. I want you to take one canister. So you take a scoop of that with your morning drink, scoop of that with your evening drink. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our vitamin D3. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. And then I also want you to take the Vision FX and take 3 of those twice a day. Vision FX, take 3 of those twice a day. And then also, I also want you to take the, let's see here. What's the other eye product here?
Occutive?
Occutive. Thank you. Yeah, Occutive. That's what I'm thinking of. Occutive. Go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. And that will help you reduce the oxidation process in the eyes. Also, it's going to reduce the inflammation in the skull, take the pressure off the optic nerve, the optic artery, the optic vein, get more nutrition into the eye. And a lot of times I have people, one other thing I want to throw in there is called Synaptive. Go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month of our Synaptive. It has the raw materials for your brain cells to talk to each other. I'm throwing that in there because I actually got a text message from a guy who was blind, and he was scheduling cataract surgery. And he decided, just listening to the show, to throw in the Synaptive into his regimen that he was using, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. And in 2 weeks' time, his cataracts went away after adding the Synaptive to his formula. So now anybody that has anything going on with their eyes, I have them add the Synaptive to it, because the Synaptive works on the brain, and the eye is just an extension of the brain. It's actually a part of the brain, just like your hand is an extension of your arm. Same principle. Okay.
Okay, I'm looking for a pen here to call up to find out all that you just said, because I mean, I'm listening, but it's a lot
Okay.
of
Well,
stuff.
okay. We'll stop. Let's see here. Rebecca, tell her how she can get this information.
Yeah, so and for you and everybody that's listening to this, if you go to askdoclive.com all together, askdoclive.com, you will find a replay of all of our programs, including this one. This one will be up later today, where you can go back and listen to the recommendations and protocols, the plan that Dr. Wallach sets out specifically for you, and then write it down.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So,
Woo.
Dr. Wallach, we were talking
Yes.
about prostate before the show, and I just got a message because I wasn't able to see the messages earlier, but I was reading through, and Josh wants to know, once you have a large prostate, what can you do to reduce the size? So we talked more about prevention. What's the reaction?
Okay, well, women don't have to worry about prostate issues because women don't have prostate glands.
No,
Okay.
but Josh does.
Okay. And so he's got to get rid of all the bad foods, get rid of all the inflammation, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown rice, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. He needs, per 100 pounds of body weight, one healthy brain and heart pack. He needs the collagen peptides. He needs the MSM. He also needs I'd go with the, excuse me, he needs to take the 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks so he can make testosterone. Okay. I also want him to get 2 bottles a month of our Zera test. Take 3 of those twice a day. That'll give his Sertoli cells in his testicles the nutrients they need to make testosterone. But he needs the eggs because testosterone is 95% by weight cholesterol. He should not be on any cholesterol lowering drugs, no statin drugs, because that'll stop the production of testosterone. Don't want that. And then, of course, we have the ProstFX. Go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. And then that should cover the territory. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Let's go to the next hand that is up. And Joan, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you have a camera which you'd like to turn on, that would be fabulous. If not, go ahead.
Yes, good morning, doctor. Thank you very much. I have a cat, 11 years old, about 8 pounds. I'm interested, very healthy. I'm interested, indoor cat. I'm interested in giving her your pet formulas, but I noticed on the product label, they're mentioned for canines. Are these appropriate for cats?
Of course. Yeah, the Arthrodex is 1 scoop per 20 pounds of body weight. So at 8 pounds, I'd treat your cat as half that. So a half a scoop with the Arthrodex. Okay. And I would also throw in, if the cat doesn't have any problems, I would make sure he's getting a good brand of cat food.
Yes.
Like Ralston Purina or something like that. Some big brand. And just read, I prefer the cans because it's moist, and that way you can put the powdered nutrients in there, and they can't blow away the powder off of the dry cat food. Okay, so that's why I prefer the canned dog food, so you can mix in the powders and they have to consume it. Okay.
Great. Thank you, doctor.
Okay, Jane.
Well, and Dr.
Joan,
Wallach, when they're looking for those brands, you still want to make sure it says gluten-free, no wheat, no corn, no soy, no salt. I mean, well, the Arthrodex has no salt, no oats, no rye. But I love the fact when it comes to the Arthrodex is our main pet product. It mentions the serving recommendations for birds, rodents, reptiles, dogs, cats, even horses and larger animals, and llamas. So if you're raising any of these animals, the Arthrodex is going to help in giving those missing nutrients that are not added into what you're already giving them, making sure that they're getting them. So just wanted to add that in there. I absolutely love our Arthrodex. My dogs love
I was going to say, do you
Arthrodex.
take it too? Do you take Arthrodex?
Well, no, I don't. But I will make a confession, and don't tell my son I ever said this. But I sprinkle the Arthrodex on our dog food. And when he was little, he would go and eat bits of the kibble after this Arthrodex has been sprinkled on, and he would eat it too. He loved it, Dr. Wallach. So he's a unique kid, very brilliant. And I think that he was just missing those nutrients also. But let's go to the next hand that is up, and it says R high. Go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, doctor. This is Randall. I'm in Fort Worth, and I'm pretty healthy, and I am trying to do everything you recommend, and been listening to you for a good while now. My only issue my biggest issue really is I've been diagnosed with rosacea. Now, mine is in the form of like the pores on primarily my nose and everything gets very clogged, and then it gets infected, and it takes forever for it to go away. My skin is, and I'm 64 years old. My skin is more oilier than a teenager, and has been for quite some time.
And you got white hair.
I do.
Okay. And let's see here. Did you have your appendix out when you were a kid?
Nope.
Do you have constipation or diarrhea or irritable bowel syndrome, any of that kind of stuff?
Nope.
Okay. Do you have any asthma or bronchitis?
Nope.
Do you have any ringing in your ears?
I do have tinnitus, yes.
Okay. And do you have any, let's see here. Do you have any balance problems, any vertigo or dizziness?
No, sir.
Okay, but you do have tinnitus. Okay. Yeah. And did they say you might have lupus? Is that what they were talking about?
No, they just say it's rosacea, but rosacea is kind of like where your cheeks and everything would get red and stuff. I don't have that. All I have
Just on your nose.
is the pores getting clogged and getting infected.
Okay, well, here we go. Well, basically, you need to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils or glutens. And I apologize. What do you weigh?
I am 260 and 5'7".
Okay, 5'7", 260. So yeah, you're probably 60, 70 pounds overweight, a little big fella. Okay, now rosacea is due to a very specific nutritional deficiency, and it usually goes along with irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, which is a gluten issue. Okay, do you eat oatmeal for breakfast? What do you eat for breakfast?
No, I've done my very best here in the last year to eliminate gluten and everything as much as possible. I've been going on your recommendations. Now, every once in a while, I'm going to have a hamburger with and stuff like that. But I'm really doing my best to eliminate it.
Yeah, but see, that's like saying I only shoot myself in the head once a month. Okay, so you got to go to 0 if you can.
Right.
Okay, and then basically, rosacea is a nutritional deficiency of very specific nutrients, and usually, as you say, it's on your nose and the cheeks, and it goes along with irritable bowel syndrome. Even if you don't think you're getting a lot of gluten, if you're living in a household where there's other people that eat gluten and you're using the same washer and dryer for your clothes, guess what? You're getting cross-contaminated in the washer and dryer, the bed, the sheets, and the couch, the rugs, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So the whole house has got to be cleaned up from gluten. And then I want you to get 1 meal a day or a keto shake. And that's a meal replacer. It's not to add to a meal. It's a meal replacer. Doesn't have to be the same meal every day. It's Monday through Friday. And on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, you pick one day, Saturday or Sunday, and have 2 meals as a keto shake as a meal replacer. Just one day on the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. It doesn't have to be the same day all the time. Okay. And then you'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. And then I want you to also take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose serving twice a day. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And then I want you to get a hold of the collagen peptides. Take a scoop of that in your morning drink, a scoop of that in your evening drink. Also get the glucogel. Take 5 of those twice a day. I only weigh 142, and I take 5 twice a day of the glucogel in addition to the 2 scoops of the collagen peptides. And then also vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. Even if you live in Florida or something like that, I want you to take vitamin D3 twice a day. That's going to help you absorb the nutrients and put in the proper places, because most adults will sit in the shade when they go watch the kids play out in the sun. They'll sit in the shade. Okay. And your hair color should start coming back, because the hair color has nothing to do with age. It has to do with nutritional deficiencies. And so that's why I ask about it, because if people have white, gray, and silver hair, that tells me they have a certain nutritional deficiency, and you're headed towards the risk of aneurysms in your aorta and your pulmonary artery and blood clots and stuff like that. Okay, because the same deficiencies contribute to those issues also, as well as white, gray, and silver hair. But you'll see your hair color coming back. If you want to speed up the process, you can use our hair, skin, and nails. Take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. And they'll be good for your whole body, but also they'll be giving you more of those nutrients, and your hair color will begin to come back. And people are going to start asking you, okay, Randall, are you coloring your hair? You're looking 25 years younger. Okay, because your hair color will come back, and your mustache, your beard, and your scalp hair. And you will look 25 to 30 years younger. Okay.
Okay.
So call us every couple of weeks, because you're going to have a great story.
All right, sir. That should be pretty easy to follow.
Okay. Look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you
All
bet.
right.
God.
Thank you, Randall. And Dr. Wallach, let's just move right on to the next hand. Charmaine, go ahead and unmute yourself if you'd like to go on camera. That would be fabulous, but you are on live with Dr. Wallach as soon as you unmute yourself.
Hello, Charmaine.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Charmaine. My height is 4'3".
4'3".
My weight is 219 pounds.
219 pounds. That means you're overweight.
Yeah. I have severe upset stomach.
I missed that. Wait a minute, stop. I'm sorry. You have severe what?
I have severe upset stomach and acid reflux.
Okay,
Real
stomach.
good in
Okay.
my chest.
Okay. Do
And,
you have constipation or
I'm-
diarrhea?
yeah, constipation. And if I have to defecate, it's usually like a diarrhea form.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Did you have your appendix out when you were a kid?
I'm sorry?
Did you have your appendix taken out surgically when you were a kid?
No.
Okay. Do you have any tinnitus, any ringing in the ears?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any vertigo or balance problems?
If I have any?
Balance problems, vertigo, dizziness?
Yeah, dizziness, correct. Yeah. I am not sleeping. I am getting little or no sleep. And I have headaches and pains underneath my feet, swelling and pains instead of my arms, both arms, and pains all over.
Pain. Okay. All right. So here we go. Number one, at 4'3", you should be weighing like 70 pounds, 65, 70 pounds. Okay. You're 219 pounds. I want you to take one of our keto shakes a day. It's a meal replacer. It's not to add to a meal. It's a meal replacer. It doesn't have to be the same meal every day. And you'll begin to lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. But I want you to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rye, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. I want you to take 219 pounds. I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to get 2 scoops of our collagen peptides, 1 scoop in the morning breakfast drink and 1 scoop of the evening drink. Okay. And that's going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone mix, bone itself, including the immune system. And it's going to help start to relieve pain. Then I also, if I didn't say it, MSM, 3 of those 3 times a day. That's 2 bottles a month, MSM. Then you need the Beyond OsteoFX. I want you to take a scoop of that in your morning drink and your evening drink. Okay. Comes in powder or capsules or liquid, whichever you choose. Then I want you to get our ultimate enzymes. go ahead and take 1 or 2 of those, say 5 or 10 minutes for each meal, a couple ounces of water, our ultimate enzymes. And that's going to help you digest food and absorb food. But the gut thing is has to do with gluten. So you cannot be eating oatmeal for breakfast. You cannot be eating Wheaties for breakfast. You cannot be eating pancakes and waffles and that kind of stuff for breakfast. For breakfast, you can have rice, you can have sweet potatoes. I want you to have 3 eggs twice a day. And I want you to get a hold of the book. It's all in your head, because the tinnitus, the ringing in the ears, and the dizziness, okay, you do have osteoporosis of the skull. That's one of your major problems. Okay, so once you get the book, and then of course get the CD, so you can listen to the CD as well. Okay. Okay, the title of the CD is, it's all in your head, just like the book, How to Prevent and Fix Osteoporosis of the Skull and MS, multiple sclerosis. So you're going to have a great story, and you will lose 1/2 pound to 2 pounds a day. Don't forget that keto shake. It's not an add-on, it's a meal replacer. 1 meal a day, and you will lose 1/2 pound to 2 pounds a day. All right, and so do call us, because you're going to have a great story, and you'll add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life if you do all these things we just recommended.
Thank you, Charmaine.
Thank you,
Thank you so very
Charmaine.
much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Get back with the person that shared this program with you, and they'll be able
All right.
to help you figure out everything that Dr. Wallach said and how you can obtain them yourself.
All right. Thank you.
Well, and Dr. Wallach, I want to mention one thing. It's all in your head, and the new CD is not yet on the website. So if you are interested in getting one or the other, or that combination, the book is on the website, drjwallach.com, but the combination is not there, or the single CD is not there yet. So use that contact us option that is on the website. And one of the people at Wellness Publications will be able to assist you in getting that product to you in your hands. So I just wanted to point that out before we go to the next person with their hand up, and remind everybody, get back with the person that invited you to this program. Okay, that is so, so important, because they took the time. Thank them for taking the time and sharing this program with you. So we have a question that has come in through the chat also, Dr. Wallach. Let's hit that one real quick.
Sure.
So Coach Rod has a 48-year-old female. She's 5'5", 178 pounds, who has low blood pressure and menstrual cramps that have her bedridden for days. What would you recommend for her, Dr. Wallach?
Okay. Let's see, she weighs 178 pounds.
170 pounds at 5'5", age is 48.
Okay. So she needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bar, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then I would have her take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose of everything twice a day. I'd have her get, one of the canisters of her collagen peptides. So you can take a scoop of that with her morning drink, a scoop of that with her evening drink. That is collagen from fish, poultry, sheep, and beef. And then I also want her to have glucogel. Go ahead and take 5 of those capsules twice a day. Okay. And then I want her, because of the low blood pressure, I want to make sure she's eating 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks, not fried, not hard boiled, but soft poached with soft yolks, soft boiled with soft yolks, soft scrambled in butter. Okay. And we do that every morning and evening. It's, so everybody needs to do the same thing. And the increased protein, because of the eggs, is also going to help by increasing, bringing the blood pressure up to normal. Okay. And I don't know, low blood pressure, is it like down 2 points or 50 points? I mean, we don't know exactly how much we're dealing with here. She also needs to make sure she's hydrated, drinking plenty of water. Doesn't hurt. She could also take our Rebound or sports drink if she's going to take the canister or the sticks. There's 30 sticks in a box. The canister, there's 36 servings in there. It's a powder. And if you want to drink the cans, there's 12 cans in a case, but the cans, you got to pop the top and leave it set out. I put mine in the refrigerator because it's so hot here in California. I put it in the refrigerator, say for 3 or 4 hours at least, and it off gases the carbonation, so it's flat. I don't want the carbonation because it reduces the efficiency of absorption and nutrition. So that's why I don't want the carbonation. And so let's see what that does to the blood pressure. Sometimes, you just need some of these nutrients to elevate the blood pressure towards the normal level. Okay, so let's go there.
And what would you add for helping with the cramps, Dr. Wallach?
Well, the cramps, oh, you're talking about, okay, so she has menstrual
Menstrual
cramps.
cramps.
Okay,
Yeah.
menstrual cramps. Okay, I apologize. Yeah. Well, she needs those 3 eggs twice a day. She needs the cholesterol so she can make estrogen. Okay. Then I also want her to get 2 bottles a month of our Xerafem. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. And they are the raw materials for the ovaries to mix with cholesterol to make estrogen and progesterone, because cholesterol and progesterone are 95% by weight. What? Oh, cholesterol. So she doesn't need those eggs. She cannot be taking, and you said, is this the vegetarian here?
No.
Okay. That was a different one. Okay. Yeah. So she does need to be eating those eggs, but they cannot be fried. They cannot be hard boiled. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Now let's go to Danielle, who has her hand up. Danielle, go ahead and unmute yourself. If you'd like to come on camera, you're more than welcome to. You are
Hi,
on
good
live with
morning.
Dr. Wallach.
Good morning,
Hi.
Doc. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm actually calling in this morning for my father. So he is 61 years old. He's 6'2", 205 pounds. And some of the issues that he has are high blood pressure. He has glaucoma and macular degeneration.
Okay. Macular degeneration. All right. Does he have any diabetes?
No,
Okay. Does he ever complain about dizziness or balance problems or ringing in his ears?
no, not that I know of.
Okay. All right. So let's see here. It's 61 years of age, 6'2", 205 pounds is about right. Okay. But I do want him to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no rhinos, no sugar, you know the drill, none of the bad stuff. And then I do want him to eat 3 eggs twice a day. I want him to get that cholesterol so he can make testosterone, right? I do want him to take the Xera test. You go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. They'll give his Sertoli cells and his testicles what they need to make testosterone. Okay. Then for the high blood pressure issues, I also want him to take 2 bottles a month of our Ultimate Daily Classic. There's 3 words: Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. That's 2 bottles a month. And they're going to support and promote healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries, including in the brain and the heart and the kidneys and so forth. And so he'll see results in that blood pressure issue very quickly. Okay. And then the glaucoma, and that'll help there too, because the glaucoma is pressure in the eye. That can be due to osteoporosis of the skull. Okay. Where the skull is squeezing the optic nerve, the optic vein, and the optic artery, and causes the pressure in the eye to go up, the glaucoma. So that's where I would go with that. And give us a call every once in a while, because we're going to get lots of calls. Hey, whatever happened? Okay. Let's see.
With Danielle or her dad.
Yeah, Danielle and your dad. Okay. I didn't write the D bright enough here. I said Anielle. No, Danielle. Okay. Sorry. And so the high blood pressure should go away very quickly. Because it's not a genetic thing, it's not an autoimmune thing, it's just a very simple, maybe obstruction of the arteries or contraction of the arteries. Okay, and so he'll have a great story.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, Danielle.
Thank you, Danielle. Let's go ahead and move right into the next hand that is up. And James, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello,
Hello.
James, is that correct?
James, you muted yourself again. Try again.
Oh,
Okay.
How can we help you? Oh.
No. Are you getting my request to unmute? There you go. Don't touch anything.
Keep your hands off the computer,
Okay.
James.
Okay,
I'm not,
he's good, Doc.
I didn't touch anything. It keeps muting. But real quickly, you gave out a recipe once, I'm not sure where, for making a frozen yogurt type a thing is mostly eggs for people that want to get a lot of eggs. It was, well, obviously eggs and some flavoring. I'm not sure what the other ingredients were, and you could freeze it. And it was a way to get eggs in your diet with a frozen yogurt like
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah, which
Do
one?
you
Yeah,
recall that recipe?
I don't recall a recipe, but I kind of do that. We have yogurt every morning. We have eggs every morning for breakfast. And so you can actually soft poach the eggs and stir them into some yogurt. My favorite flavors are lemon, and I also like the strawberry along with the what's that red rhubarb? Yeah, there you go, rhubarb. Okay, so strawberry rhubarb. You go ahead and you can take your soft poached eggs and just mix them in with a serving of the either the either one. Okay, it could be either the lemon yogurt or the strawberry rhubarb yogurt. Okay, they come in, I think it looks like 4-ounce cups, 1 egg in there. I go for 2-3 eggs every morning, 2-3 eggs every evening.
If
Okay.
I may help
Okay, but
here, if I may help.
the
So
eggs are
Please.
cooked.
the reason why Dr. Wallach wants you to lightly poach the eggs is you want that egg to start turning opaque. Now, as soon as it starts turning opaque, you can
You're
take
talking about the white. You're talking about the white of the egg.
the white. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. You can mix that. You can put it in a blender with yogurt, mix it up really good, and then put it back in that little yogurt cup and put one of those sticks in it, like a popsicle stick. Put it in the freezer, and then you will have a nutritious yogurt in itself, as long as the sugar content is not too high. It's pretty nutritious, especially if you get the Greek yogurt that has the higher protein.
And you want the gluten-free yogurt also.
Gluten-free is very important.
Mhm.
Not
Mhm.
all of them are gluten-free. So you want to make sure that you look for that statement, gluten-free, on the container of the yogurt. And then put them in the freezer. Once they're frozen, then you have a nutritious frozen treat that you can eat anytime. So hopefully that helps.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they were cooked eggs or if it's something made with raw eggs.
No, not made with raw eggs.
Yeah, the
Okay.
enzyme that's in the
All right.
white messes with the body's ability to break down food. So, but you want that yolk to be bright in color and not dry or overcooked. Because that's
Okay.
where the good
All right.
stuff.
Thanks a lot, Doc.
You bet.
Thanks, Rebecca.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Well, Dr. Wallach, let's move to the next hand. And Sylvia, go ahead and unmute yourself. Sylvia, can you unmute yourself, my dear? There you go. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
That's right. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Sylvia Edwards, and I am 74 years old, and I am 5'8", and I weigh 100.
Where are you from?
I live in the Caribbean, St. Martin.
St. Martin.
Okay, I apologize. I interrupted. You say you weigh 100 and what?
150 pounds.
Okay, so how can we help you today?
Well, as of May 1st, I began a plant-based diet. So I stopped eating meat stop eating fish and no dairy. And I've lost a good bit of weight. I finally lost too much weight. I am diabetic. Sometimes I lose my balance occasionally. Slight blood pressure. And I have a swelling on my right foot. Slight swelling on the right foot only. And some dry rashes on the foot. And sometimes I feel my feet, the bottom of my feet, feel as though it's wet, but it's not wet. They have that wet feeling. And you mentioned about oats is not gluten-free, but I use rolled oats and it says gluten-free. Is that correct?
No, there are no such things as gluten-free oats. The gluten in oats is called gliadin, but even though they call it gliadin, it's still gluten. People should go to jail if they say rolled oats is gluten-free. No, 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 not true. Okay. And so at 150 pounds, when you have, let's say you have tinnitus ringing in the ears, you got balance problems. This is all osteoporosis of the skull. So once you get a hold of the book, it's all in your head. Get a hold of that CD that goes along with it. It's all in your head. And at 150 pounds, I want you to get rid of all the bad foods. Again, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And I do want you to eat rice and sweet potatoes, live like an Asian. You have rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash and onions and tomatoes and celery and all that kind of stuff. Okay, corn, but no wheat, butter, or oats. And then at least you want to eat the eggs. At 150 pounds, I want you to have 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. And again, as Rebecca points out, you want to heat the egg just enough so that the white goes from being clear to opaque white, like a piece of white typing paper. Okay. There's all kinds of reasons for that. We don't have time to go into all of them, but it's a healthier way to do that. And if you could bring yourself to eating fish, there's all kinds of great fish. They do not have red meat in them, but they do have high quality protein and high quality fats, which are missing from vegetarians' diets. And so if you can bring yourself to eat fish once a day, it could be a breakfast one day, lunch twice a week, and dinner, it could just be one meal a day, eat some fish. Okay. But not fried fish. It could be baked fish, roast fish, grilled fish, but not fried fish. Okay. So let's go there and then call us, oh, let's see here for the high blood pressure. I do want you to do one other thing. I do want you to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And that will help the blood pressure go down to the normal range. Don't cold turkey off your medication, but as the blood pressure drops, you can slowly reduce the medication. And then, let's see here. Also, you should see hair color coming back so that you don't have any white, gray, or silver hair, because that's a nutritional deficiency. It's not due to aging. Okay. So I think that's going to cover the territory. Oh, you said you have diabetes also. In addition to the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, I do want you to take our sweeties. Go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month again. Don't cold turkey off your medication, but as your blood sugar starts dropping, you can actually go ahead and lower your medication based on the numbers, just like you're going to do for your blood pressure medication. And let's see here. I think that will cover it, but you do need the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. You do need the sweeties. You do need the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. And if you can bring yourself to take the collagen peptides, you'll be way, way, way ahead of the game. Scoop of that with your morning drink, a scoop of that with your evening drink, but don't forget, pray about it and see if you can bring yourself to eating grilled, baked, or roasted fish. Sometimes even raw fish, like sushi. Okay. Have raw fish 2 or 3 days a week. That will help you with high quality animal protein.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Next, we are going to the Caribbean. An impact. Please unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, good day. I
Hello.
am actually I couldn't get to change my name, so sorry about that. I'm in the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, actually. 39, 5'2". I'm about 148 pounds.
Okay.
Yes, so I have a couple of things, but the main thing is, I won't be able to see it, but developed hand eczema. I don't know if you could see. This is actually a good thing now. This started a few years ago after my son dies. He seems to be triggered by stress, but my hand would break and seep and burn and become dry, and my skin would just fall off my hands.
Okay, let me ask you a quick question. Do you color your hair?
No.
You don't have any white hair?
Just like 4 or 5 strands of silver here, but my hair is generally dark, natural color dark, and I don't dye.
Okay, good. All right. Any high blood pressure, diabetes?
No diabetes or high blood pressure, but I did develop preeclampsia in my first pregnancy at 39 weeks, but they took the baby right after. I've had 3 C-sections, if that helps. I don't know. They just said never to go into labor.
Okay. So, all right. So you have 3 children.
I've had 4 children.
Okay. So 3 C-sections. Okay. All right. So at 165 pounds or 148 pounds. There you go. 148 pounds. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I want you to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, rye, and oats. And I want you to be sure to take the 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. Full dose everything twice a day. Get the MSM, get 1 bottle a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. That's going to support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendon, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes a bone itself. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our hair, skin, and nails, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. And that will help you with the eczema on your skin. Okay. But stay away from all the bad foods, and that'll help you with your digestion, your absorption. And you can use our Rebound Sports Drink. If you're going to use the cans, you got to pop it open and leave it open for a couple of hours before you drink it, because you don't want to be drinking all that carbonation.
Okay.
And again, that hair, skin, and nails is going to help you with that eczema on the skin. And you're going to have a great story. So do call us every couple of weeks and give us, it's toll free. So give us a call every couple of weeks and share your story with us. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Now, all right. So Dr. Wallach, we're coming up to the top of the hour, the end of another Ask Doc Live.
Great 2 hours.
Another great 2 hours. I am so thankful for my co-hosts, and if we can get them up here with us.
The whole team.
Also,
Absolutely.
the whole team. Some of our team, we have one on a cruise, which she worked very hard over this last month and was able to rank up to one of our star ranks. So I was very happy and proud of her. So she's on a cruise and enjoying that. We have Eczema Omar and Jonty McCollier, who, folks, if you're here because of the newsletter, it's because of this man right here who makes sure that you are getting lots of information, including the reminders. And yes, there are sometimes technical issues that are not his fault. Just putting that out there, because I got a lot of people say, hey, I didn't get the reminder. I didn't get the reminder. Well, it's the same time, same link every week. And occasionally there might be a technical hiccup that will keep you from getting that reminder. But remember, you can go back to the previous week's reminder, use that same information. And Dr. Judy Reynolds, who is here with she's a nutritionist. She's got lots of education in nutrition. And we have Eczema Omar, who teaches classes in Pilates and Zumba and all those good things, and really using the nutrition and movement to touch other people's lives. And Ruth Ellen Sanchez, who has a heart where she has had an incredible journey on her own in being able to use herself as an example and what is possible through nutrition and using her passion for people to really touch others also. And Dr. Wallach, I think we make a fabulous team.
We are
as
family.
we are family. We have you as the leader that planted that initial seed in us that grew this passion to be able to reach around the world. Folks, you are listening to Ask or watching Ask Doc Live. If you were not referred to somebody or by somebody specific and you would like to get in contact with a health coach, there's 2 ways to do that. You can go to AskDocLive.com, 3 ways, sorry. Use the contact us and you'll get one of our health coaches that way. You can reply to the newsletter that gave you the link in order to find this video. Or we have a call team that's standing by at 855-949-7234. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link in our channel description, or any of the channels, right? Because we're not just on YouTube, we're like everywhere, which I think is absolutely fabulous with digital marketing, folks, digital social media, all of these ways that you are not confined to just your backyard when it comes to spreading information that allows people to get healthier. And if you're looking for a business model that will allow you to help others get healthier and make your bank account healthier, get in contact with the person or the way that you heard about this program, because it is an incredible opportunity. It's not overnight. It's not some gimmick that, oh, you invest $10 and tomorrow you're going to have 100. It's not that at all. It's taking and working with information that has created a passion in many of us to help others. And I love Jonty's video that if you go to SunPower Productions, he has Why We Love Longevity video that just really shares the passion on why so many of us are in this company and sharing Dr. Wallach's message. Again, my name is Rebecca Dukes-Kozak. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with us to the very end. And we do hope that you took some nuggets from this program that you're able to apply in your own life. Find the replay at AskDocLive.com. Dr. Wallach, thank you again for sharing more valuable information with all of us. And thank you, team, for keeping
Thank you,
this
team.
possible.
Thank you,
Love
team.
you
Thank you,
all.
team. Love you
Bye
guys.
for now.